What's good, everybody? So, I'm going to talk about how I used the law of attraction to outgrow the amount of money I was making at my job as a server with my own business, which is Reno Studios. You're watching it right now. So, let's just get right into it. So, the first thing I did was I wrote down my goals. Actually, even before that, the first thing that happened is I was indignant, meaning I was unhappy with where I was at. So, that's where really any goal or any achievement stems from is um, being unhappy with your current state. So, I was very unhappy with my current state working there. I didn't like working for another person. I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to make my own decisions, work on my own hours, and be making money doing what I love rather than working for someone else and, doing something that I'm not passionate about. I felt as if I was wasting my time on earth. I felt like, okay, so it was a pizza job, right? I was like, first of all, I don't care about pizza. Like, I'm vegan. I don't even care about pizza. You know what I mean? I don't care about the food industry, really. Like, I wasn't passionate about any of it. And I was a server, so I was just bringing people food. It wasn't really any skill or anything that I was achieving. I was doing the job that a robot can probably do in like 2 years. So I wasn't happy, essentially. Um, on top of that, I was like cleaning bathrooms and it was disgusting. And, you know, different coworkers would make comments and it would just make me like so mad. I would just be like, this is not worth it. Like the amount of money I'm making, which was minimum wage for a while, this isn't worth it. I'm gonna find something else. So at that point of like utter madness and just furiousness at where I was like, okay, I am setting the intention right now. I am going to start my own business and start making more money from my own thing than the amount of money I'm making here. So I was making from $300 to $400 about a month at my old job at the pizza place. So I felt that to be comfortable, I had to be making at least $450 a month on my own thing, profit. So I wrote down, I got a journal, I wrote down, this is the first page of my journal. I actually have it right here. I wrote down in this journal, you know what, I'll just read it straight up exactly what I said. I will make over $450 a month working on my own business. That was one of the bullet points that I wrote down. So that was me setting the intention into the universe. This is the first step of law of attraction. I set the intention. I had no idea how I was going to do that, okay? Keep in mind that when I wrote that, I was making $0. $0 with my own business. Matter of fact, I didn't even have a business. So I wrote that down. That was my intention. No idea how I was going to do it, but I knew I was going to do it. So after that, the next step really in writing, in just practicing the law of attraction, is then visualizing it happening. So I would imagine quitting. I would imagine telling my boss that I quit and knowing that I'm making more money doing my own thing now and I don't need to work there. And I would just imagine like literally saying I quit to my boss and how awesome that would feel. And I felt all of those emotions all before it even happened in real life. So I was in the state of someone who had already quit even though I hadn't yet. So I would visualize every single day when I woke up, before I went to bed, throughout the day. And on top of that, this is kind of step 3, is I would act as if. So acting as if is essentially, I would not feel like I was going to the job to... let me rephrase. I wouldn't feel like I had to go to the job. I felt like I was just going because I was doing my boss a favor. I didn't need it. I was already making $450 a month on my own thing. So I didn't need to go to the job. I was just doing it as a favor. Now, that's not true. That was not actually true. I was not making $450 at the time, and I kind of did need to go to the job to get money. But I did not think so. And if anyone would have told me that, I would have thought, like, nah, you're wrong. I'm just doing it as a favor. I actually told one of my coworkers that was the case. And this is when I realized you should never, ever tell anyone about what you're trying to manifest in the law of attraction. Because I told him, like, what I was doing and the fact that I was just going there as a favor, and he was like, he didn't understand it. He was like, why would you do this as a favor? Like, this job sucks. Like, why would you just, like, you would not want to do this so he was basically trying to logically figure it out. Thing about law of attraction is not all logically based. A lot of it is based on faith and gratitude and a belief in a power greater than your brain, because your brain can think and think, but it can only think so much, and it can't think its way out of certain situations. And that's why you shouldn't worry too much about how whatever you want to happen will happen, because I'm gonna tell the whole story, but I did not figure out how to do this with my brain. It just all started to reveal itself to me as I kept visualizing and practicing the law of attraction. So let me go more into the whole story. So I've been visualizing. I was acting as if I was just in my mind seeing a vision of myself telling my boss that I quit. Literally seeing with my own eyes. This is a good practice for you to practice law of attraction with, is incorporating the 5 senses. So this is one sense, seeing. So I would see my boss's face as I told him to that I was quitting. That would be a part of the visualization. I would hear the words come out. So now we have 2 senses. The more senses you can come up with, the better. So I was incorporating senses. I was visualizing. I was acting as if. I mean, it was almost to a ridiculous, like almost to a delusional extent. I would be going out to take out the trash, and I would be pretending like I was going to check to see if I locked my car, which I didn't even have yet. To see if I locked my Lamborghini type shit. And I didn't even have a business yet. So, to sum it up, I was doing everything right, and I was going very hard with the law of attraction, praying, visualizing, just believing that it was coming. And this was when I was kind of first learning about the law of attraction, so I was putting it into practice as I learned. By the way, quick tip, anyone who's using law of attraction, don't think that you know everything about it. And even if you do, I recommend watching more and more and more videos about law of attraction while you're practicing it, because it'll remind you of things and you'll be able to, practice as you learn, which is also always really good. So that's the law of attraction part covered. Now I'm going to talk about how it actually manifested into reality and what actually happened. So, first thing I did was I came up with a name for my brand and then started posting on Instagram my art. Then I invested $300, which was, like I said, like about a month's pay in making 50 shirts. So I got 50 shirts printed for $300, and I tried to sell them. I tried to sell them to people at my school. I had 0 followers, first of all, when I first started out. And then, some school people followed me, probably had like 84, something like that. And then I started trying to sell them. Of course, like, no one really wanted them. The designs weren't that good. It was my first shirt ever. I could not blame them. I wouldn't want that shirt either. But that's what I first did. I invested $300. It was pretty much inspired action, the reason I did it. Not because, I was like, okay, I know that this is going to get me to where I want to be. I didn't know anything. Like I said, I never knew how I was going to do it. I just knew I was going to outgrow my money. So, I invested $300. I got some shirts printed up. And I kept posting my art on Instagram. So, I was posting art, just making kind of abstract stuff that no one could really relate to because I didn't know, how to grow an Instagram account or anything like that. So, I mean, but I was following my inspired action, so I didn't care that I didn't know. I never knew, right? Really want to drive that point home. I never knew how I was going to do it. So, one day, I drew Billie Eilish. And I'm going to make a whole video about this on, the whole process. But to make a long story short, it got spread around her fan pages, the drawing that I made of her, and we ended up collabing together. So, I had just started my business. It was like 2 months in, never done a collab before. All of a sudden, her manager reaches out to me and says that she wants to collab. If you don't know who Billie Eilish is, I'm surprised, first of all. She's a really, really huge musician. She was really big at the time, but not nearly as big as she is now. She had probably about 2 million followers, whereas now she probably has like 30. But her manager reached out to me and wanted to put it on shirts. And this is when it all came super clear to me. I was like, okay, this is really like happening. Like everything that I've been visualizing, everything that I've been trying to attract is manifesting right now. And we did the, collab. I made some money off that. I started to kind of, just started making more and more money. So that month I probably made like $200, like the very first month that collab happened. And then a little bit after that, she had posted herself in the shirt and tagged my Instagram account. And then I started getting a lot of followers, like 2,000 followers I got from that. And then I started getting commissions, and people started commissioning artwork. The first artwork, the first portrait I ever did of someone, I charged $20 for. To kind of compare that, now I charge around $200. So, yeah, I 10x'd it a little bit. But the first time, $20, and I was doing a lot. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was working really, really hard at the beginning. But eventually, I really did start to outgrow it. And at that point, I knew that I could quit. So, kind of went like this. I quit the first time, and I told my manager that I quit, and he was like, basically begged me to stay. He really wanted me to stay, and he gave me a raise. So I was like, all right, I'll stay a little bit longer, because I could have used the money to start funding my business, and I was just willing to kind of take that one. So, but then after 2 months, it no longer seemed like a good deal, and I quit for good. And it was exactly like I had visualized it, and it just came into reality. It manifested so beautifully, so perfectly, literally exactly how I imagined it. And I mean, that's the whole process from seeing it in your head to holding it in your hand. And that's why I always say, anything you can hold in your head, you can hold in your hand, which is a Bob Proctor quote, but it's true. It's true for anything. Think about this. To the universe, giving you money is effortless. Like, imagine the universe trying to give someone money. They don't have to, like, reach into their wallet or, like, work a day job to get that money to you. All they have to do is just, like, transfer the money from inside someone's pocket to your pocket. It's nothing for the universe. The universe could give you $1 million in one day, and it would take no effort from the universe. So my point with that is that no goal is too big for the universe. If you think that it can't happen, that's you limiting it. That's nothing else. That's just you limiting it based on what has already happened in the past. So if you base your future results on your present results, or your past results, even worse, then you can never grow. So the $300 was a risk. Even just believing that I could do that was kind of like not really a risk, but really, really kind of hard to grasp at first, which is why I had to repeat it day and night every single day until I could actually like believe it and grasp that in my mind. But just know, whatever you think of, whatever you can even conceive, you can hold, you can have it. So that's exactly what happened to me with this Billie Eilish collab. And then I just never stopped using Law of Attraction. Like, I just kept using it to grow and gain followers and gain money. So, I mean, at this point, when I'm making this video, I have about 14,000 followers. And I expect that to grow incredibly higher. I'm positive it will. In my mind, it already has. You know, I've never stopped using Law of Attraction ever since I used it for this, and this was the very first thing. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. Now I make way more than I did there. I actually enjoy what I do to make money. I have like a really cool audience base that loves me, and like I love them, and it's just better in every way. I don't have to clean any more bathrooms. I don't have to take orders from anyone. It's awesome. Like, every time now that I go to a restaurant, I'm just like so thankful that I'm the one being served and not the server. There was this one tweet that I saw. It was from Andrew Yang, who's like super rich now, talking about when he had worked at a restaurant and he had burned his hand on something, on a stove or something, and they were making fun of him and like telling him to get used to it. And it's kind of metaphorical for how most people just accept the pain that they're feeling in their job or whatever it is in life, and they just kind of get used to it. They just kind of get numb to it. But the thing is, that started happening to me, and I started to get a little bit numb to it, and I was like, nah, this can't happen. Like, this has to stop right now. You know, I noticed that I was starting to get good at folding cardboard pizza boxes, and I was like, no, this is not what I need to be getting good at. I need to be using this time to get better and better at art, because what I care about is changing the entire culture of art, and I don't care about making pizza boxes the fastest or faster than my other coworker who like does not like his job, does not like his life. I don't care. I knew what I wanted to do. So, I mean, in my mind, there wasn't really any other choice. And like I said, I didn't know how, but I just knew I was going to do it. And it happened. So that's my story. I hope that someone could get either motivation or just like some kind of insight into how to use the Law of Attraction. If you're unhappy with anything in your life right now and you want to change it, just know it's possible. You can follow these steps. Look more into the Law of Attraction. If you have Netflix, watch The Secret. It's probably on YouTube too. There's really no excuse anymore. The information is out there and it's free. So, do it. Use the Law of Attraction. I don't think that there's anyone in this world that shouldn't use it. But that's all I have to say about it. That's my story. And if you guys need any help with anything, you know you can always reach out to me on Instagram, Reno Stews. Just DM me and I'll help you out. I appreciate you guys for watching. I love you. Stay tuned. I got more videos coming. And peace out.